Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new MCU Marvel Ghost Rider video. Marvel's working on a new project. They just announced what's going on, and I'll explain what's going on with that canceled Ghost Rider TV show that they were about to start filming last year before they called stop on it. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Easter egg videos. We're doing an Amazon giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know where you want to see Ghost Rider show up in the MCU first. I know everyone's crossing their fingers for Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. Don't worry, I'll talk about how this all fits into the supernatural side of the MCU that Kevin Feige was talking about earlier last year. So just going down the list, starting with number 5, it was recently announced that Marvel was working on a new Ghost Rider project that was separate from the Ghost Rider TV show that they were developing last year. Marvel mysteriously canceled that show. It was with Gabriel Luna's character, the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider. He's the third version of Ghost Rider in the comics. It goes Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, then Robbie Reyes. The way they're describing the new Ghost Rider project is that it could just be another Disney Plus Ghost Rider series, or it could wind up being a full-blown MCU movie, just depending on who they're able to lock down as the new Ghost Rider. Don't worry, I'll get to that too in a second, because there have been a lot of big rumors about who Marvel is trying to lock down as their new Ghost Rider. But we already have a Ghost Rider in the MCU right now. It's Robbie Reyes. They debuted him during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4. You all probably remember they did his MCU backstory, and then before Avengers Infinity War started, they sort of wrote him off into a larger supernatural war that had been going on in another dimension. So that's why you didn't see him a whole lot after that. They even did a Coulson version of the Ghost Rider character. He took the spirit of vengeance into him. That was actually a pretty fun moment. Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is meant to be connected to the MCU, you can argue in the comments over whether or not you think that Coulson Ghost Rider is now the fourth version of Ghost Rider. What was going to happen after that, though, is that they were going to bring the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider back as the main version to our Earth for a Ghost Rider TV series they were making as part of a larger team-up Adventure into Fear series. So it was going to be like Marvel's Netflix Defenders with a bunch of TV shows crossing over, but it was going to be a more Midnight Suns spin on that take. They had a Hellstrom TV show that they were also developing as part of that too, that I'll talk about in a second. The way they described them is that it was going to be part of their Spirits of Vengeance, multiple Spirits of Vengeance. They wrote all the scripts for that series and they were about to start rolling cameras last year filming it when it was abruptly canceled outright. The actor was released from his contract, so now it doesn't seem like Gabriel Luna is going to be doing any Ghost Rider stuff anytime soon. There were a couple reasons why Marvel did that as part of their larger reorganization behind the scenes in the way they're developing new MCU projects for Disney Plus and for the movies. They're not completely retconning Robbie Reyes' character out in favor of a new Ghost Rider reboot with Johnny Blaze. It's a little more complicated than that. So this is the actual origin story of the current MCU Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes.
I begged the universe, I begged anyone who would listen that you be spared. I swore that I'd give anything to save you. Then I heard a voice. It was asking me if I wanted a second chance. Did I want to punish those who hurt my brother? Did I want to avenge my own death? I answered yes. More than anything, yes. There was someone there when I came to. It was the devil. Whatever was inside him, he passed it into me. Ghost Rider.
On the show, they were trying to be as authentic to the comics as possible, so the version of Ghost Rider that saved his life, transferring the Spirit of Vengeance into him, was supposed to be Danny Ketch, since he was the Spirit of Vengeance after Johnny Blaze. They briefly alluded to the history of the Darkhold and the original Ghost Rider during the show, but aside from visiting Johnny Blaze's house and seeing a bunch of Johnny Blaze Easter eggs in the basement, we never really saw a version of that character on the show. So 4, the new Ghost Rider project that Marvel is developing for the MCU would be a new version of Johnny Blaze. They're not going to be bringing Nicolas Cage back as the character, although it would be cool to see him cameo in the background as some sort of Easter egg. The current rumor is that it's actually one of the projects that Keanu Reeves met with Marvel about last year.
Huh. Oh yeah. Ha. Huh. Yes.
Huh?
Hold on. One more. Oh yeah.
When we heard that Keanu was meeting with Marvel, naturally everybody was asking Kevin Feige about it in interviews. He said that they meet with him after every big Avengers movie at the start of new Marvel phases just to see if there's any upcoming interest in Marvel characters or any good fits for him inside upcoming movies. Kevin Feige never said which past characters he would have played had he said yes to something, because his John Wick movies have been blowing up so big the last several years. He's mostly been too busy with those to do anything with Marvel. They're still making John Wick 4, even though a lot of stuff has been delayed because of the virus, but after that would be when he'd be available for new MCU projects. So number 3, the reason why Ghost Rider is so special for him is because of his love of motorcycles. There was even a documentary recently on his history with bikes. They even gave a special behind-the-scenes tour of the custom motorcycle shop that he owns himself in Los Angeles.
Before there was Arch Motorcycle, there was Reeves looking to customize a Harley Davidson. I was introduced to Gard Hollinger.
Gard agreed to customize a bike, but then went so much further, basically just keeping the engine and designing everything else from scratch.
It was no longer a Harley Davidson, it was becoming a Chop Rods motorcycle, which was the company that Gard had.
So he rides bikes all the time between movies, and he even bought custom motorcycles for the entire stunt crew of the John Wick movies. That's how hardcore a motorcycle fan he is. So of course it makes sense that he could become the next rider in the MCU. Next big thing too, right now the supernatural timeline of the MCU works like this. They do Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness first, with Doctor Strange Scarlet Witch team up against what seems like the villain Nightmare from the Nightmare Dimension. Sam Raimi, Mr. Spider-Man himself, is directing that. He has a deep history with horror, comedy, and big superhero movies, so I'm really happy that he's the one that Marvel picked to take over the project. That movie is supposed to introduce more traditional horror elements and supernatural characters from the comics, setting the stage for the Blade movie, which is rumored to be coming out October 2022 right now if there aren't any more delays. They already announced Mahershala Ali as the new Blade of the MCU, but they didn't say if he'd cameo in Doctor Strange 2 or some other Marvel movie before they do the straight-up Blade reboot movie. By the time they get ready to make that Blade movie, they'll also have released the new Moon Knight Marvel Disney Plus series. That's the big supernatural MCU Disney Plus series. All the Disney Plus characters will eventually cross over into the movies, and it seems like they're slowly planning on a Marvel Hearts of Darkness Midnight Suns type of crossover movie further down into Marvel Phase 4 with all these supernatural characters. When Marvel's deciding what's going to be a movie or what's going to be a Disney Plus series, usually just depends on how bankable it winds up being, how big the actors they get. So if they get some really big actors to play some of these supernatural characters, then it's more likely that that would turn into a movie than a Disney Plus series. With those big supernatural crossovers, it's where you'd start to see actual Ghost Rider MCU stuff happening. And for those of you that are waiting for Mephisto to show up in the MCU in a big way, like Mephisto vs. Doctor Strange in a future movie, Mephisto is also the person who made the original contract with Johnny Blaze, binding the spirit of vengeance to him. So everyone keep your eyes peeled for Easter eggs for all that stuff when Doctor Strange 2 comes out. But number 1 WTF, I know a lot of you are asking what's going to happen with that other Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider in the MCU right now. It doesn't seem like Marvel has any big plans to use him again right away, but the way they're currently treating all the pre-existing Marvel TV characters is that they're mostly in an alternate reality, or in the case of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters, they're stuck in a different part of the timeline. So they're not completely retconned out. Sidelined is a better way to think about it while they figure out what they're going to do with a lot of them. Really good example is there have been reports that the Quake character might make the jump to an Agents of S.W.O.R.D. Disney Plus series based around Nick Fury's new S.W.O.R.D. space station, but Marvel hasn't officially announced that series yet. That would be their big Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. replacement, since they're getting ready to introduce S.W.O.R.D. in the WandaVision series, and Marvel is still supposed to release that Hellstrom series. They already filmed all 10 episodes, and they're supposed to be on Hulu at some point later this year or next year. But as you can see, Marvel is just making a big play into the supernatural. As Kevin Feige said at Comic-Con last year, Blade is just the first really big movie that they have planned as part of that after Doctor Strange 2. But Doctor Strange 2 is really where you'll first start to see that stuff happening. Everyone, let me know in the comments, who do you want to play the brand new version of Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider in the MCU? If we get any other big casting news for other big Marvel characters, of course I'll do videos about it. But congratulations to Carlos P. Diaz, you're the giveaway winner from my last big Marvel video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. Everyone, click here for my brand new Deadpool 3 Ryan Reynolds clip, and click here for my new Marvel X-Men video and New Mutants trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.